Good to see you. The Pentagon's top leaders have doubled down on how destructive the US attacks on Iran's nuclear facilities have been. Secretary of Defence Pete Hegseth has held a news conference responding to a leaked intelligence report that suggests the American strike put the country back by only a few months. Hegseth made the comments alongside the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Caine. Together they showed off the weapons they say completely destroyed Iran's underground nuclear facilities. Caine said it had taken 15 years of research to create a bomb that could penetrate the Fordow nuclear facility being built deep underground by Iran. Meanwhile, Hegseth berated the US media for undermining White House reports that the airstrikes on Iran's nuclear facilities were successful. Culhane reports from the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia.
A very combative press briefing here at the Pentagon. What we saw was video of a bomb similar to the one used in Iran that be detonated at a test site. We saw some satellite imagery and some graphics as to what they were trying to hit, but that is about the extent of what they provided. They didn't provide any actual evidence to back up their claims that the Iranian facility was obliterated, in their words. But we did hear from Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth in a very, very strong attack on the media's credibility.
Because you, and I mean specifically you, the press, specifically you, the press corps, because you cheer against Trump so hard, it's like in your DNA and in your blood to cheer against Trump, because you want him not to be successful so bad, you have to cheer against the efficacy of these strikes. You have to hope maybe they weren't effective. Maybe the way the Trump administration has represented them isn't true. So let's take half-truths, spun information, leaked information, and then spin it. Spin it in every way we can to try to cause doubt and manipulate the public mind over whether or not our brave pilots were successful.
Calling it the most complex and secretive military operation in the history of the United States is a fairly big claim to make if you look back at things such as D-Day or the killing of Osama bin Laden. But in a very unusual move, the Pentagon really tried to tell a story talking about the service members that were involved.
That, my friends, is what America's Joint Force does. We think, we develop, we train, we rehearse, we test, we evaluate every single day. And when the call comes to deliver, we do so.
It's very clear what they're doing here at the Pentagon. They are trying to say that the media is questioning the character of the service members involved, but instead what they're really doing is questioning the effectiveness on U.S. military strikes in Iran. Heidi Culhane, Al Jazeera at the Pentagon.
Heidi Zhou-Castro is live for us on Capitol Hill. Heidi, Hegseth clearly making friends with the media there, accusing them of being unpatriotic for questioning the leaked intelligence from the Pentagon.
That's right, and of course the irony is that Hegseth himself used to be a television news anchor right before he was elevated to defense secretary. So we have that. But these attacks against the media have also gone on from the White House briefing room, coming from the press secretary. And these questions are being asked critical of what the results of this U.S. strike on Iran, the results are. These questions are not just being asked by the press, but also by senators here on Capitol Hill. And in fact, those questions are being asked at this moment at a closed-door briefing in which those senators are now meeting with the CIA chief, as well as Pete Hegseth, the defense secretary, and others who are giving them a classified intelligence briefing. But the White House, concerned about further leaks, actually instructed these briefers to limit their intelligence sharing with senators, which has really have Democrats quite angry, with Chuck Schumer, the minority leader, saying that this is putting political concerns above that of sharing information critical to national security. But of course, they, just as everyone else, really want to know what impact these strikes truly had on Iran's nuclear development. And the latest public statements that we've heard from the CIA director is he now yesterday, in the latest statement, said that there was severe damage to these facilities and that Iran would take years if it decided to rebuild them. So certainly they're under a lot of pressure from the White House and from Trump to back up his claim that these sites were obliterated, but they are not going that far.
All right, Heidi, thanks for that. Heidi Zhou-Castro there in Washington.